Alright guys, welcome to Gladiator Trader channel, and today was day 20 of my paper trading account. Today is November 1st, 2017, and we are starting the new month, and today was a red day for me again. This would be my 7th consecutive red day, down 195 on the day. It was a pretty good start to my day with SKLN. I was up 55, and then I tried trading HMNY for like the 5th or the 6th time. Ever since I've been trading, I've been trying to trade HMNY, and for some reason I'm just never on the right side of the move. The days that it's going long, or the days that it's going high, I hesitate and I miss it, and then usually I'll revenge trade it where I'll jump in too high, and since it's a higher price stock, or it moves pretty fast, I'll jump in, I'll chase it a little bit, and then it'll go down 30-40 cents, and I'll get scared and I'll sell, and then it'll just pop right back up and go 2 points from my entry. And so that has happened before. Today I decided to go long on the break of $11, just because I felt like the daily chart pulled back a lot. It was pretty low on RSI, and I felt like we might it might be giving a bounce day. And at the market open, it started moving, pulled back a little, started moving up, and as it was coming up for the break of whole dollar market 11, I decided to jump in, thinking it'll bring in lots of volume. It could potentially move up to 20, 30, maybe even 50 cents, or maybe a whole dollar. It had the potential. I jumped in, and it just basically got stuffed, and next thing I know, I was down. Let me see here. I'm just opening my Excel sheet here. I believe on that stock I was down 59 cents. Now that is, obviously I had a small position. I only went in with 300 shares, but losing 59 cents on a trade that goes to show that I did not have good risk management. I did not know where my stop would have been if the trade doesn't work out the way I think it should. Where would I get out? And I just didn't have that plan. And then the last trade was LBIX. LBIX was a short sell that I tried to do, and I just kept adding. Basically, I started with a small starter position of 1,000 shares at 203. It goes down, but it comes right back up. I tried adding at 216, didn't get filled. Then I added at 209. Then I added some at 212, which brought my average to 208. And then it goes down to 201, but it doesn't break the whole dollar. So the 2 was acting as resistance, and then it pops right back over. And as soon as it did that, I decided to bail out. I rather would have taken 1 cent loss on it than let it get really away from me, because I was in 3,000 shares. So I decided to cut my loss there, and then I did one more trade of LBIX as it basically came up for the break of high of day. So I decided to go long, and then I bailed out basically with 1 cent in profit, just because I'll tell you that over. Let me just bring up the chart here, and we'll go over that. So this was HMNY. As you guys can see, the daily has really pulled back, and I was waiting for this day to basically move over this 1082, and if that would have happened, we could have possibly gotten a move back up to the 12, and it just didn't end up happening today. Alright, so this was the HMNY basically open. Pre-market it was moving up. Even yesterday it kind of was moving up, did this U shape, and then it came up to 1149 pre-market. And then as it kind of pulled back, and I was like, that's okay, I'll wait for the break of 11, and I'll jump in for the break of 11. I was looking for a move back up to the pre-market high. Sorry, I just had to step away. As it basically came up, it would have been a really good play for red to green move, and I kind of missed that because at that time I was watching SKLN. And that was my first trade of the day, and we'll go over that in a second. But as it came up for that red to green move, break of 170 would have been a good entry point, for the push up to the 11. I ended up basically, when I came out of SKLN, I pulled HMNY, was on my charts up it was pulled up on my charts, and I look at it and I see it's a lot of volume coming in right here, and I was like, I like it, and I'll jump in for that break of 11, because when I pulled up, it was I think it was in the 1092.93. And I was like, well, I don't want to jump in right now just because in case it doesn't break 11, it'll, drop. So let me just wait. Let me see how much, if it has the strength for that 11 to break. And it did. It ended up breaking 11. I got in with 300 shares right at 11. It kind of hovered around 1108, 1109 for a bit. This candle opens up, gets to 1110, and it just couldn't run. And next thing you know, it starts dropping. And I'm holding the stock thinking that this is just a pullback. It has already come up from low of 1040 or just the 1050s all the way up to 11. Let it pull back, and I'll hold through this pullback, and then I'll look for a move back up towards 11 and potentially break of this and a move up to 1149. What ends up happening is that the stock is just constantly pulling back. Now on my paper, I'll show you guys here. On my paper trading account, I do not have access to all these, moving averages. I could put some moving averages, but it's not as extent as I have them on this chart. This is still my daily chart. If I go on my 1 minute chart, you'll see that I have bunch, 5 EMAs, 9 EMA, 20 EMA, and I kind of go based off those. Now, on my practice account, I can't really do that. So if I was in a chart like this and I saw, here, let me just pull it up and I'll show you. All right, so this is my 1 minute chart on my daily setup on my Questrade account. Where I was trading live before. Now, obviously, I have these, I got the 9 EMA and then I have the 5 EMA. The 5 EMA is the yellow one right here, and then the 9 EMA is this one. Now, as you can see here, as it came down, it failed here. It couldn't get back over this this cross here, and there was also a cross of the 5 EMA and the 9 EMA, whereas 5 EMA is basically at the bottom now, and the 9 EMA is on the top. So this cross right here kind of shows, weakness, whereas this cross right here, where the 5 EMA goes up, shows strength. Now, if I had something like this up, I probably would have been like, what, this is looking weak, let me get out. Whereas on my other, I was kind of like, what, this is just pulling back here in the 1070s. The next candle to make a new high will push us back over 11, or it'll start moving back over 11. And at this point, as you guys can see, I'm kind of hoping that the stock goes back up where I need it to go. And the next thing I know, this happened. It opens at 1083 and it instantly drops to 1070, pulls up here. And at this point, I'm scared. I was like, I don't want to sell here just because I'm already 30 cents away from my entry. I don't want to get out here. I'm going to wait for a pullback towards the upside, and then I don't want to sell into weakness. And next thing I know, it goes to 1050, 1060, 1050. It just keeps on dropping. It pulls back up here. I tried getting out in the 1060s. It wouldn't fill. Right here. I tried getting out right here in the 1060s. It wouldn't fill. Drops quickly back to the 1050 just because there was a spread. There was like 10 at one point. There was a 10-cent spread. Then there was like a 15-cent spread. Then there was 8-cent spread. Like it just kind of kept moving all the way around. And so basically, I held through all this whole thing. I was holding. I went down to at one point. I was down at 1010. I was down almost a point. And then it pulls back up, and as it comes back up, I decide to sell right here at 1049, I think it was. I got out at 1041. As it basically, this candle started pulling back up right over here, I bailed out at 1041 just because I figure it might not move back all the way up, although it did coming back up to the 1060s. I could have gone out there if I held for a little longer, but at this point, my mental capital was already so drained that I just had to bail out. So I bailed out on a little bit of strength. Now, what I learned from this was that risk management is definitely the key. If I don't have the right risk management, things like these are going to happen, and maybe one time this will happen when I'm in 10,000 shares or 5,000. If that would have happened on 5,000 shares, I would have lost so much. I would have lost about 10-15% of my account, maybe more. And obviously, I wouldn't do this if I was trading live, and I think that's also the little problem here. Just because I'm in a paper trading account, I'm more willing to no, I'll hold, it'll come back. Whereas if it was my real money, I probably would have been out at 1090. Now, that being said, I'm really trying to treat this fake account as my real account, and in order to be fair to myself, I need to do it to a T. I need to do it exactly how I would do it to a live account. And this brings me back to my other point of my trade on LBIX. Now, LBIX was obviously a stock that was moving. This morning started moving up. I missed my entry right here to go long at 173. I saw it when it was already in the 180s. And it starts pulling, volume starts coming in right here. There wasn't as much volume, right over here, it was just starting to move up, and I didn't know how much strength it had. So when it starts really running here, what happened here, I wanted to jump in for the break of 2, but I was like, I'm not chasing it. I already lost some on HMNY. I don't need to get myself deeper in a hole. I'll wait. It pulls all the way up here, 215, and it pulls back. As you guys can see by the length of these long top wicks, is the reason it made me want to go short on the stock, just because it kept getting pushed down. Every time it'll move up, lots of sellers will come in and push it back down. I decided to go long. My first long entry was right here, 203, just on, I think it was either this candle or this candle. I went long at 203. It starts curling back up, and I was like, that's fine. If it does go back up to the high of day, I'll look to add. I tried getting in at 216, didn't get filled because this candle just got pushed back down. It curls back here, comes right back up, and I got in. I got some more at 209, just around here, 209, and then it starts kind of going sideways. I decided to add some more. I believe it was right here at 212. I added some more, which brought my average to be 208. It curls back right here, and then it starts dropping back down. As this drop came through, I was like, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this rollover. Let it break 2, and it'll go down to the 199s and whatnot, and I'll look to basically sell into the 190s. It gets down to 197, 198, and it pulls right back up. It goes right over 2, and as soon as it came right over 2, I sold in this candle, I believe right here, somewhere at 209. Just because I had to get out on the bid, because there was a little spread, like 2-3 cent spread as it was coming back up, on the ask, and I decided to buy on the ask, and I bailed out on this. Good thing I did, because right after that, as you guys can see, it starts really moving up, and it didn't really have another pullback or even a move towards that 208, 202, 210 mark until later on in the day. So if I would have held this as it came right back up, I probably would have lost money. Or lost more than what I did. So I'm glad I kind of sold on here, as it it started to roll over, but it didn't roll over. I probably trapped some shorts, and it squeezed right back up. So kind of took a 1 cent loss on that, but nothing crazy on that one. And then SKLN was my trade right out of the morning, right out of the gates, was on my watch list, and it was my favorite trade of the day, just because I did it for a specific reason, knew what I was looking for, and I jumped in. Right over here, it was, where did I get in? I got in at 230. This candle, I don't think it's right. Yeah, it's not right. The first candle went higher. Let me see if I can pull it up here. SKLN. I don't even know if this video is gonna work. Yeah, I don't know. It's not showing that here. But the first candle that I traded was, this is 931. There was one at 930. I don't know why it's not showing here, but that candle basically broke this high of day, and it went up to 244, I think it was, and I got in for the break of high of day, or pre-market high, right at 235, I think it was, but my entry was 233. As it was coming up, I got in, and I got in with 1,000 shares. I sold 500 at 244 or 43, and then I sold the rest break even at 233. So nothing major there. Took as we can see, my P&L here, took $55 on that, and then lost some on HMNY, and then lost some on LBIX short. So that was my day for today. Obviously some mistakes, especially with HMNY, a huge mistake that costed me a lot. And I think that let that be a lesson to me, right? Let that be a lesson to me that I need to be careful when I go into a stock. I need to have my risk plan, especially on these big name stocks that are, you know, trading with the largest spread. I need to be mindful of that. So that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully, I really pray to God this video works till the end. And if you made it till the end, like always, don't forget to subscribe and comment. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful